Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am Coach Lilia Labonte. I am a narcissistic abuse recovery coach for men. And in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the 7 things that you need to do if your narcissistic wife, more like when your narcissistic wife calls the police on you. Okay, so most of my clients have the police called on them, and in the moment, you don't really know what to do. So this is what we're going to go over. The chances of this happening are very, very high. Why do the narcissists do this? Understand that this is their way to regain control and to punish you. So this will typically happen when she finally understands that you're leaving her, that there's no turning back, that she's exposed. So her last straw is going to be to punish you by basically making false allegations and putting you behind the bars. So she will create this emotional chaos, okay, and you're probably going to react because let's be honest, she probably has so much reactive abuse coming out of you left and right. But when you finally take a step back and you understand what you're dealing with, you probably calm down and you're just observing, and she understands that something has changed, and this is where she might create this chaos and call the police on you. Or maybe there will be no chaos and she's just going to dial 911 and make false allegations, and you won't even see it coming when the police is going to show up at your doorstep. And before I continue, of course, please do subscribe to my channel if this information is helpful for you guys, and you can always set up a one-on-one session if you need a further discussion on this topic, and you can find the link in my bio to schedule. Now let's go ahead and dive in. So let's say the police shows up, you didn't see it coming, or maybe you did see it coming, maybe she dialed right in front of you, but most people don't see it coming. Let's say the police show up, let's say you're in this situation, okay? The police come knocking on the door, false allegations are made, you need to stay very calm and composed. Understand that. She's going to try to trigger you in front of the police, she's going to try to get an emotional reaction out of you, and understand if this does happen, the police are going to look at you and a good picture is going to be painted. Understand, you're living with an actress on demand if you're actually living with a narcissist, okay? Everything is choreographed. So for her to get the police to believe her is going to be very, very easy. Why? Because look at yourself. You're probably with this woman for a number of decades, okay? How did this happen to you? Because she has been manipulating you the whole time. So what makes you think that she's not going to manipulate the law enforcement the same way? Number 2, you need to cooperate with the law enforcement. Understand that. So do not react. Be very calm, very reserved, and show them the facts, show them the evidence. Do not act upon your emotions. Stick to the facts, and please avoid getting defensive, getting emotional, but also don't apologize and don't own up to something that you haven't done. Do not take responsibility for things that are not true. Okay, very, very important. So it's best to remain silent, which leads into number 3. So please do invoke your right to remain silent, because this is going to save you tremendous amount of damage that you're going to have to undo later with your lawyer. Unless you're asked, do not volunteer any information in the moment, because you're emotional, and understand that whatever you say is probably going to be used against you. So it's best to remain silent until your central nervous system calms down a little bit. Next one, number 4, in the moment, I want you to document everything, okay? Record whatever needs to be recorded. Remember, you have those rights, okay? So make sure that you really remember what happened in the moment, because you're emotional, and unless you document everything, your brain is going to do what? Gaslight you later. So text, emails, communication, whatever evidence you have that this woman has threatened you, that she's going to call the police on you before, okay, present all of that evidence, period. Especially if there's any witnesses that were present in the moment when she called the police on you, which is not likely, but if, make sure that those witnesses testify, make sure that you have support. And if you don't have that support, you better be getting really, really good legal representation, okay, which leads me into the number 5, you need to get an amazing lawyer. You need to get a pit bull of a lawyer that really understands what these high conflict women, narcissistic women, will do in this situation. You need to be hiring somebody who really understands how these women think. If it's somebody who thinks that this is no big deal, or maybe if it's a woman that actually is going to believe your wife, it's not uncommon for your lawyer to actually start questioning whether this happened or not, because especially if you're working with a female that's not really understanding what narcissism is, maybe she's going to start to believe your wife's story, okay? And if your wife is not just a narcissist but a complete sociopath, the stories that she's going to make up are going to be through the roof, where no one's even going to understand that somebody could lie about things like that, okay? So you really need to get that in your head. You need to be very careful about who you're hiring, because the last thing you want to do is pay a retainer to somebody that is not going to represent you in the way that you need them to. So what do you need? You need a family or criminal defense lawyer right away that is going to represent your rights. And like I said, please make sure that you're hiring somebody who understands narcissism, who has dealt with these kind of cases before. Make sure that you're being completely honest with your attorney so that they can build the best defense story for you. Now also understand that if you do think that your wife is going to escalate things further and make up more false false allegations about who knows what, you need to communicate that to your defense attorney right away, just so that they're prepared, so that they can build a strong defense for you. Understand there's no shame in this. Everything that you've been through, you need to present it. You are the victim in this situation, so make sure that you're not trying to protect her because you're trying to save the potential relationship that you may continue with her after you get out. Which leads me into number 6. Please get it out of your head that you can save this marriage, that there's any hope that maybe she actually did feel unsafe and that's why she called the police. This is strategic, okay? And once you get out of the situation, last thing you want is to be under the same roof with this person. You do not want to be one-on-one with her. You need to really protect yourself once you get out of this. You need to set the strongest boundaries with her. You need to completely limit all communication with her. You should never be left alone with her one-on-one without witnesses in your presence. As soon as you're ready, you need to be filing for separation or divorce for your own peace of mind. And again, you're always going through a third party for any communication because she will most likely try to get you one-on-one to set you up again because she's trying to regain control and or punish you. Now, if you're dealing with a simple narcissist, understand that she very likely called the police because she was in the middle of rage. However, if you're dealing with a sociopath, this was probably very much planned and strategic. And also, not to forget, please prioritize your physical safety because you don't even know how far this woman can push it. Because now she likely has exercised every little thing in the book, right? Police is kind of the last straw. So now what could she do? Now your actual physical safety might be threatened. So what I suggest is that you don't stay on your own, that maybe you move out and stay with a friend or a trusted family member, because that would be the best case scenario just for the meanwhile until her rage calms down a little bit. But again, if you're dealing with a sociopath, don't expect for that to happen. Remember, the fragile ego of the narcissist is crushed, right? So now she has to attack because there is no going back and she cannot accept the loss. She never will. Last but not least, you need a trusted support system, okay? And that may be very difficult in the situation because if she did make really bad false allegations against you and the police has arrived and you've been taken away and now you're out, and now what are you going to do? How many people are actually going to believe you? So if you have family members, siblings, parents that actually are on your side, that is going to be incredible for you. Let go of the friends that are going to be on her side. Let go of the people that are going to believe her. Don't try to convince people. Don't waste your energy on that because you need to understand, you know your truth. There's most likely people in your circle that know your truth. Stay with those people. Don't go and waste your energy on people that are on her side that believe her. And if you're in this situation, understand it's not uncommon for them to actually start hoovering you again. Just because she called the police on you doesn't mean that it's over for her, because very likely she was just trying to use this fear tactic for you to actually get scared and think that if you don't obey by her rules, then she's going to completely destroy your life, okay? Understand there is no going back after this. If you're going to go back to her after she has called the police on you, well, that's kind of on you at this point because you're putting yourself in a really, really difficult and very unsafe situation. But also understand that sometimes you have to re-expose yourself to it to finally end all hope, okay? And I hope that's not the case. I hope that this is it for you. I hope that if she has called the police on you, that there is no going back for you. I'm wishing you guys everything that you need if you're in this situation. I know how dangerous these people can be, and I know how common it is because most of my clients have had the police called on them once or more than once. And if you need help navigating this, please do schedule your one-on-one session with me. The link is in my bio, and I will see you all in my next video.